P1738, second pressure switch failure on a Honda. What is that and how do you fix it? Stay tuned, I'm going to show you. So this is a 1999 Honda Accord with this code, second clutch pressure switch failure. And this is common on all Hondas. So let me show you what we're finding here. So Honda uses pressure switches to tell the computer what gear the transmission is in. And that's one of them right there. That brown thing with the black wire going to it. That's the third gear pressure switch. And this is where it's at on the car. Zoom out a little bit to show you. Now this car has got a second gear pressure switch. This car's got a second pressure switch clutch failure. So I'm going to show you where that is. There is the second clutch pressure switch right there. Looks just like the third clutch pressure switch. And I'm going to show you where that's at. That's right below the throttle body. And I'm going to zoom out on the camera and show you where that was. Okay, so now we're going to get our scan tool. We're going to go to data. Now on our data stream, you'll see second and third pressure switches. Now basically what happens, this transmission shifts into second or third. These pressure switches need to go from off to on. And the third gear one was working fine. It was going from off to on when you hit third gear, but second gear pressure switch would stay off all the time, and that stores the code. You also would get a P0700 on the engine side when you're scanning for codes. It would say something like AT malfunction. So on the engine side it's P0700, on the transmission side, when you look at transmission codes, it's 1738. The most common cause for these codes are the pressure switches themselves are bad. This is what they look like right here. They just screw in the case. So this is the one that we're messing with right here, which is a second clutch pressure switch, and this is on a Honda Odyssey. So it's the same thing for Hondas, all Hondas, unless it's a CVT. So like I was saying, the most common thing is their bad pressure switches. You put a new switch on, change the fluid, you want to make sure your connector's good and your wire's good. But in this case, we have a little different scenario. This one right here, we actually just installed the transmission and we did not plug it up. So that would cause the code. We're going to plug it up and road test it. Okay, switch is now plugged up. We had to remove the battery to get to it. And we had to move this wire harness right here out the way to get to it. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. All right, we're going to go ahead and clear our codes here. All right, codes are cleared. We're going to road test it now. All right, we're pulling out of the parking lot now. See how she does? We're in first gear right now. And the top one is second and the bottom one is third. So now we're in second gear. And then we went to third. So as you can see on our road test, it did not fix it. Not a good thing. You would think the switch being unplugged would fix the problem, but in the car business, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So what we're going to do next is we're going to test the circuit. Let me show you how we're doing that. Okay, so what we did is we unplugged the second pressure switch connector, as you can see right there, and we're probing the one wire that it goes to. It's only a one wire connector here. And all these sensors have to do when they hit pressure is they ground. They ground the cable. So we're going to become the second clutch pressure switch. We're going to do the second clutch pressure switch's job right now. So when the transmission hits second gear, the pressure switch grounds. This is the connector for the pressure switch. We're going to just ground it and we're going to watch our terminal. So we grounded it here. And we see that we're on. Now we're going to take it back off. And we can see that we're off now. So basically, we're in first. Then we go to second. Boom. and the switch comes on, and then we go to third and the switch goes off. First, second, third. So our next move is to remove the pressure switch from the transmission and bench test it. Okay, so this is what they look like out of the car. Second gear clutch pressure switch. It's a 22 millimeter socket, by the way, to get them out. And all you do is that terminal right there connects to the ground when you blow air or you get pressure in right here. So we're going to test it. Okay, so this is the setup right here, and you set your multimeter to the ohms, and I like to use a little beepy sound so you don't have to look at the meter. And then you apply air right through here and see if the terminals connect. A lot of times you could just blow air in these things to clean them out and get them to work, and they work fine. Let's see what happens. All right, we're going to blow some air in it and see if we get the beepy sound, right? There's our pressure right there. All right, let's see what we got. Looks like we have a bad switch here.